Is this the greatest phone cage of all time? It just might well be, except there's one or two little problems that you really should know about. Let's dive in. Let's start with the positive, because first up, this box is just beautiful. And then we have this wonderful box. When you open it up, you get all the stuff in there. And look, this is a nice touch. I know you're like, what the heck? It's just a little signed card from Brandon Lee. It's just one of these things that, it's a really nice touch. So when you open the box, you know you're in for something pretty cool, because it's a pretty epic box. So the unboxing experience always sets the tone. In the box itself, right, we have the actual phone cage. We have these two handles, which are very unique, and they're unique to this cage. It's very interesting how these work. And these handles have more little Easter eggs that I'm going to go through than you would know about. And then you also have this. More on this, that goes on this in a sec. Let's start off with the actual cage itself. We have 1/4-inch thread mounts up here. We have a cold shoe mount. We have more threads up here, threads, and then we have our buttons here as well, so you can actually use your phone like you normally would, including the action button, and this is specifically for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Before I get the phone in, because I'm using it as a monitor, let's take a look at the handles. So we've got an interesting handle here. This little clicky, very satisfying click too, by the way. That goes on, all right? So we have a handle on, then the other one goes on as quick. That's it. Look, and these things are, they're pretty wedged on. And if you want to release it, let's say you wanted to quickly shoot into vertical mode, we can just go like this, take this one off, boom. I mean, that took seconds, not even. And we could go vertical and horizontal, so you get more grip if you want to go underslung. It's an amazing feature, right? Just don't take them both off at the same time. Now, there is something here that everybody should know about, because this took me a while to figure out. When you get the handles out, these little clamps are actually screwed in, but they come separate in the box. And I went through the box and I'm like, there is no Allen key at all. But this being SmallRig, it's hidden somewhere. And if we go to the bottom here, your little Allen key is in here, and there's another one inside here as well, should you need it. It's just genius, because everything that you need is here, right? I'm going to leave this one out for now. You screw these in, you can position them whatever way you want, so whether you want them high or low. And then if we look at the top here, all right, and here is one of the other Easter eggs on these, right? And this, I think, is just taking this camera cage up to the next level. There's obviously nothing secret in this one, but if we push, comes off. Another cold shoe mount, which is great, right? So that's just rubber, it goes on, goes off, stays on, stays off, really easy to get in. But then this one does the exact same, except this isn't completely rubber, because, my friends, on this is an actual Bluetooth remote control for your iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I'm pretty sure it'll work on all the other iPhones as well. Don't quote me on that, but you just pair it up. It's really simple. And then, so you have a remote record button up here if you need it, or you could just have the phone on a tripod using one of the 1/4-inch threads, and boom, away you go. So SmallRig are not the first company in the world to have a Bluetooth remote like this, but it's just adding to the overall design here. And I gotta say, these things, once they're in your paws, feel, sorry SmallRig, feel very, 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 very solid. All right, and the fact that you can switch them around is super great. Now let's take a look at the, because look, this is a serious piece of kit. If you're a mobile filmmaker, this cage absolutely is going to start screaming your attention. But if you're a serious mobile filmmaker, there's one problem which I'm not sure who, I don't think it's SmallRig's fault, but we're going to get into that momentarily and how you can maybe fix it. But up here, we have, let's get these off for a sec. I just love taking these on and off. We have our button here, so you get your phone in. And just for the heck of it, this is my phone. Using it as a monitor, so let's slide this in. Very, very smooth. There is kind of a smooth surface here, so you're not going to ding it up. It's a rubber surface. That goes in. fits absolutely perfectly. And then we have this adapter which connects on here, and SmallRig have a bunch of different filters for this, including like a mist filter, and included in this Brandon Lee edition, if I can open the box, is a variable ND filter. So when you are not using the when you're not using the stock camera Apple app and you're using something like the Blackmagic camera app where you get full control over the shutter speed, this magnetically goes on, just like, I mean, look, done, it's on. And then you can adjust your V and D, and yeah, you can adjust your shutter speed completely. So if you want that motion blur, this is the way to do it. And then boom, let's get these on here. Let's get this on here, and we are set to go. Now, here's where it all starts to slightly fall apart. I think Brandon Lee's an amazing YouTuber. He's an amazing cinematographer. He's just really, I'm a big fan of Brandon Lee. And I'm kind of a little bit surprised this was missed to a point. I don't think look, I'll just get into it, right? Here's the issue. If you want to get the most out of something like the cinema line of apps that are out there, that sounds stupid. The Blackmagic camera app, which is probably the best out there, replaces Filmic Pro for me. It's a phenomenal piece of kit, and it's free. You need to use an external hard drive, because if you're a serious filmmaker, you would probably be wanting to shoot in ProRes, which is a really uncompressed codec depending on the version you use. And to get the most out of it, you need to use an external hard drive. And to get that Apple log at 4K 60, you also need external hard drive recording via USB-C. So this is Samsung T7 drive. Just stick it into the pocket. It's good to go, right? And USB-C, and it connects in, but there is no mount here for it. It doesn't go here. There's nowhere else for it to go. So it's always going to dangle. The problem starts with these amazing handles, because no matter what way you put these, you're always going to have an issue getting access to the USB-C port. So if I take my USB-C cable, okay, admittedly, this is a little bit of a chunkier one, but I think this is the one that came with the drive. We're trying to get this in here, and it's just, no, it's just not going to work. So yes, I know you can get a smaller USB-C cable. That's all well and good. But we got to mount a hard drive. Now, I actually like this kit so much, I bought a hard drive mount from SmallRig. No discount, I just bought it on Amazon, and you can screw this on up here. So let me take this off and I can screw this on. And then we can see one more little piece of this jigsaw that you need to get. Now, again, all of this works really, really easy, and the screw here that came with this works with the included mount, works with the included Allen keys that are there in the box, which is all very good, or should I say stuck in the handles. Admittedly, trying to do this on camera all in one go makes it just that little extra bit fiddly-er. But once we get it on, we're good to go. And the only thing here is, once this is on, if I ever get it in, said nobody ever, you got to really make sure it's on tight, because this can swivel just a little bit. So it's just super. See, I even twisted it there. So that's just one niggle that I do have with this. Obviously, it's limited with the cage, but maybe that's just me. So we can open these up here, loosen everything out, get our hard drive in. We're nearly there to the bigger problem almost than this. We can tighten the mount here, and we can tighten this, and our hard drive is in nice and snug. So let's get on the handle. And I gotta say, my heart sank when I tried this for the first time. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then so we can get our USB-C cable into the drive up here. That's all well and good. But then when it comes to getting this in, we're still faced with the exact same problem. So, my friends, you have got to get one of these. Maybe two, depending on how you shoot. This is a right angle USB-C adapter. I know you could also buy a USB-C right angle cable, which may even be a better option than this. So essentially what we're doing is putting this into our USB-C port. Let's get that in, make sure that's pushed in. And then you can plug in the cable at the back, which kind of makes perfect sense. So we've kind of fixed that issue, and then we are good to go. And this is a seriously badass camera rig. I mean, look at this. The iPhone 15 Pro is phenomenal with the Blackmagic camera app, log, all of that. It's amazing. So this thing looks the absolute business. But these things are... I don't think you can hold SmallRig accountable for this. I mean, this is an Apple thing. Where else are these actually going to go? So the functionality of this whole thing is phenomenal. You just got to be aware, if you are going down the route of external recording, you do need to get the extra mount. It would have been a nice touch if they included this in the box. There was some mount built in for little hard drives, but whatever. And then you probably do need either the right angle adapter that I have, or you need to get the right angle USB-C cable. But other than that, this is probably the best iPhone 15 Pro camera cage that is out there. And there's one other tiny little Easter egg. Brandon Lee fans will love this. Everybody else is like I couldn't give off. And that is, we've got a nice little Brandon Lee signature here as well, which just overall, the thought that's gone into this, the design, the feeling, the color, it's just a nice olive green, and the functionality up here in the handle where you can start and stop your shutter from this Bluetooth remote. It's pretty damn epic. And the fact is, I know if you're putting a mic up here, it's probably going to be a little bit of a squeeze, but we can also just dump that off and we've our mic there. So this is probably one of the most functional camera cages on the market. It is gorgeous design. It is built like a tank. It's almost perfect. Almost. But it is most definitely worth considering. Something else that you should consider when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro is some other things to do with it. And you can check that video out right here. And subscribe. And thanks. And I love you. And I'm out of hands.